JJK just released their second to last manga music video, which serves to hype up the finale of Jujutsu Kaisen. If you're unfamiliar, they've been releasing one of these a week, and there's going to be 5 total. This is the 4th. And as you can see, they've just kind of got static scenes behind them, but with text imposed on top. And in this case, it's a speech from Choso, the one he gives Yuji right before he sacrifices himself. And I'll translate that here in a second. But I think that all of these have been paving the way for the reveal that Sukuna is still living on within Yuji. So let's talk about it. All right, so let's examine these lines of dialogue that each of these manga music videos are reminding us of. And again, think of this in light of Yuji and Sukuna's situation. It's not about forgiving or not forgiving, and it's fine as long as our siblings can go on living as a part of you. Then the previous week had Nanami's words to Yuji, where he basically talked about good and evil people and how their deaths aren't just good because they're good or wicked because they're evil. The world isn't as simple as that. People aren't as simple as that, as just being good or evil. And then 2 weeks ago, it was Junpei's words to Yuji back when he was in his crisis of faith, basically saying, haven't you ever killed anyone? Well, you're eventually going to run into an evil sorcerer. What are you going to do then? What's the point of thoughtlessly saving people? And as I'm sure you might have guessed, the very first one were Yuji's grandfather's dying words to him, basically saying, you're a strong kid, so help people. Whenever you can, you may feel lost, don't expect gratitude, just help them. Now let's examine these in order and explore the philosophical narrative that it's painting, starting with Yuji's grandfather telling him to help people, anyone that he can. Then we have Junpei throw the first wrench into that idea, because what happens when you run into someone evil? Are you supposed to help them? What do you do then? Then leads us into Nanami, the mentor figure that tells him the world isn't as black and white as good and evil. Good people don't get good deaths, bad people don't get evil deaths. You just have to do what you can. That brings us to the familial connection of Choso, who reminds Yuji that it's not about whether you forgive them or don't forgive them. You still just got to do what you have to do. And he even brings in the familial ties here by saying that's just a big brother's duty. Now, I know Sukuna and Yuji aren't literally brothers and are only kind of weirdly tangentially family, but all of this very much seems to be building to this grand decision of, do you or don't you help Sukuna? I already know exactly where Yuji landed on that question, because he offers to help Sukuna. He says, let's try again. Not to curse someone, but to live with someone. Even if no one accepts you, I alone can live with you. Plus, we have the added benefit of this panel being very symbolic in that we have the human hand on one side and the monster hand on the other, kind of both coexisting. And then last but most certainly not least, this would all serve to rather nicely tie together one of the biggest unresolved plot threads still, which is who's going to teach Sukuna about love? This repeated mantra of the one who teaches you about love is, and who better to do that than Yuji, the person who has every right not to, but in spite of that, still chooses to show mercy and compassion. I'm still very much aboard the Sukuna is still alive train, and I think these manga music videos are just pointing toward that fact. But we'll find out real soon, because the next chapter comes out in about, less than 48 hours. So let me know y'all's thoughts down below, and as always, thank you for watching.